Welcome to Film Jury, where movies stand trial and the verdict is always final. In every episode, our roundtable of film fanatics becomes the jury, dissecting the visuals, the sound, the storytelling, and the performances as they examine every element that makes or breaks a movie, because every film deserves its verdict. Warning, this podcast does contain strong language and major spoilers are ahead. Court is now in session. Welcome to the Film Jury Podcast. In this month, we are unpacking all movies that have a meta component to them. We're calling it Meta March. And in today's episode, we are going to be deliberating on Behind the Mask, the Rise of Leslie Vernon, which was made in 2006. It was written and directed by Scott Glosserman, and it made a whopping total of $69,000 at the box office. Oof, rough. But we're going to be unpacking this kind of curious take on the slasher genre and all the tropes of the slasher genre. I'm your host, James Patrick, and I'm sorry I'm not a virgin.
My name is Kristina Patrick, and I'm definitely going to be the one that dies first in the horror movie.
My name is Kat Stratford. I am also not a virgin, so I'm going to have to hope that being really charming will work.
Well, as Sigourney Weaver said in The Cabin in the Woods, we take what we can get, right? When life gives you a cat.
I don't know if I'm the closest we've got. I've got 2 kids. The jig is up.
Oh my goodness. So I've seen this movie several times. It was a movie I watched randomly in one of my what is it called, streaming like scrolls, where I'm just scrolling through streaming services trying to find something to watch. I'm like, I'll give this one a whirl, and was wildly entertained. Went back to it again and again, and this has to be my 4th or 5th time going through this movie, and each time I pick up more from the film. And I'm kind of excited to hear what other people think about this movie, because I can't be the only one who appreciates this film. Kristina, did you have any pre-context with this movie?
I did. I actually watched it because of you. You had a showing of it at your studio.
That's right. We did like a cinema night, a B movie night is what we called it.
Yeah. And that's the only time I'd ever seen it. And that's the first time I'd ever heard of it. So I was excited to watch it again.
What about you, Kat?
I had never heard of this movie. I had never seen this movie. And yeah, so I went in totally blind, didn't even watch a trailer before.
One of the things I like about this movie is I recognize almost no one in it in the core cast. Like, there's lots of cameos throughout the film, but the core cast, which Nathan, I'm going to say Bessel, Angela Goethals, butchering names, Scott Wilson, Kate Lang Johnson, Ben Pace, Brittany Spellings, not recognizing a lot of these individuals.
I did see the main character. I want to say that she was actually in Home Alone. She played Kevin's older sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the French say.
Les incompetents.
Yes, that is her. Holy shit. Oh my goodness. How far she has dropped. Hey, this is interesting. The production company is called Glen Echo, which is Scott Glosserman's production company. Okay. So Scott Glosserman made up a town named Glen Echo for this movie, because that's the name of his production company. There was supposed to be another installment of this a number of years ago, and it doesn't look like, I don't know if photography ever happened on it. I can't find any information on it. There was concept artwork for it and a concept poster for it, and they were supposed to bring back the Leslie Vernon character, but I don't know if they ever did any photography on it.
They set it up at the end for him to come back.
Yeah, if you stay for the post credits.
Yeah,
it's like pre-credit, post-credit.
Yeah, it was cute.
All right, well, let's dive in. So we open up with a waitress taking the trash out in the back alleyway of what is a diner or a coffee shop. And she has to wedge the door of the restaurant, the back door of the restaurant, open with a brick because it's a heavy door and there's no thingamabob on it that holds the door open. Whatever that thing is called. You
Door
need
stop?
that thing. It's not not the door stop. The hinge. The hinge. It's a hinge, Kristina. Come on. And what we get a sense of through a POV camera angle, she's being watched. And then we see a man standing in the bush. And she turns, but she sees nothing. But then all of a sudden, the door that she had wedged open with a brick, and the brick in this case is a doorstop, Kristina, not the hinge.
Oh my God.
Okay.
The door slams behind her, and she freaks out and runs to the front of the diner, and we see the title card, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. And then we are introduced to our core characters. We're introduced to Taylor Gentry, who is a reporter for University News. So I assume she's in college.
I assume she's a student.
She's a graduate student.
Yeah.
Which, like, so if you're trying to get a master's in journalism, you're already gonna struggle in life. So, you know,
Maybe that's why she's taking such a big risk.
you may need to be offed. And in this intro, it's kind of like a Blair Witch style intro. That's the vibe I'm getting. She's talking about this. She's kind of spelling out the world that they live in, which all of the horror icons are actual real human individuals. Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Charles Lee Ray. And she's referencing them and the atrocities they've done to their different towns. Freddy Krueger in Springwood, Michael Myers in Haddonfield, Jason Voorhees at Camp Crystal Lake, location undefined. And she's trying to create a documentary on this, on all these individuals. And she even tries to interview someone on Elm Street, an Elm Street resident who happened to be Kane Hodder, who played Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th, 7, 8, 9, and 10. But he slams the door. So they paid to get Kane Hodder's face in it. They didn't pay to get Kane Hodder's voice in this movie. But fear not, we have other little cameos. To be seen.
The spot where she does her little intro, and like is actually also a reference from Halloween, I think.
The Red Rabbit Lounge.
Yes, because that is the logo on a matchbook that they find in Halloween.
Yep.
So I thought this was like such a clever little world building thing that they did, because the way that she talks about like Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger, she talks about them like we talk about the Unabomber, like.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime something big happens, we like reference like these old serial killers or whatever.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, exactly. So like
Charles Gacy.
We'll say something. Not since John Wayne Gacy has seen this kind of treachery or whatever, you know. And that's how she talks about this, and I thought it was very clever.
What is nice about that? I'm glad you pointed that out, because that parallels reality. Like we think about, Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers is like, oh, we can celebritize these characters because they are fictional. But yet we ignore the fact that we are celebritizing the Menendez brothers, Ed Gein, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy. Like we are dramatizing and celebritizing terrible human beings, murderers, hard artists. Like, we're already doing this in real life. So it would track that if these individuals like Michael and Freddie and Jason and Chucky existed, we would be putting them on a pedestal as well. We would be celebrating like a Louis Mangini.
Yeah. And just on that note, like if Ryan Murphy is watching this, like on the off chance, stop making shows.
Yeah, please stop. Please stop, Ryan Murphy.
Go away for a while.
You know what it is they just keep giving him money. So we can't blame Ryan, because he's just like, oh, what if we did this? And, FX is like, here's money. Stop giving him money, Fox. / Disney. FX is now owned by Disney. Stop giving him money, Disney. All right. So we get this backstory via this documentary exposition of a boy that was possessed by evil. The town formed a mob that grabbed him and threw him over a waterfall, and he's returning to this town of Glen Echo to seek his revenge. That's about as much as they kind of lay the groundwork of the mythology of this, and we'll get a little more nuance. But you don't want to pull this thread because it comes apart really fast, and they're careful with that. And also they're playing into it because the mythology of any of these slasher tropes is, razor thin. You can't unpack Jason's mythology without realizing, wait, did he drown in the lake? If he drowned in the lake, is he undead? When did he actually become undead? Like, you can't really yank on that.
Yeah, and even urban legends that we have, they differ from town to town. Like, everybody has their own kind of spin on, well, this is how the story actually goes.
That's a good point. We meet kind of two of the other players in this. We don't see them for most of the movie until the movie shifts tone, and it's Taylor's crew. One is named Doug, and the other is named
Todd.
Doug and Todd. You don't get Todd's name till much later. But Doug and Todd, the two cameramen. One is probably more a producer role, but they're both operating cameras. So these are the camera cuts we're getting between these two. And the whole thing is documentary style. It's all found footage, POV style cinematography for most of the runtime of the movie until there's a canonical shift, and we'll talk about that. The one thing that we know about Todd, Todd and Doug. The one thing we notice about Todd is wildly impressed constantly with Leslie. Mm-hmm. He thinks Leslie's the coolest guy. They don't need to do a documentary for him to think Leslie is the bee's knees of future serial killer Hall of Famers. Like, he is like, and you see it. There's this play between them. Like, the crew goes to Leslie's house, and Leslie's kind of giving them an MTV Cribs style walkthrough of his property. Oh, here's where I work out, and here's my pet turtles, and here's my library, and oh, do you want to see a magic trick? And he does a magic trick, and Todd is just like, we should watch out for Todd, is what we should do, because Todd has some serial killer aspirations.
Also, did you guys catch the names of the turtles?
I did, but I had no reference. The names of the turtles were
Church and Zoe, which is the name of the pets from Pet Cemetery 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
Man, I haven't seen a lot of the old school horror movies, so there's a lot of references that I'm like, I'm sure that's a thing. I have no idea what it's from.
They buried as many references as they could in this movie.
I wrote it down, but I didn't look it up to see what that came from. I did like his line, though. And we have to call out the guy who plays Leslie Vernon. What is his name?
When was this movie made?
Nathan, I want to say Bessel. Baesel. Nathan Bessel. Who's known for The Rise of Leslie Vernon, and that's about it. He is so good in this role. They cast this well, because here's the thing. It's the audience can sustain a little bit of the crew liking Leslie Vernon, but it really only works if the audience also likes Leslie Vernon. Mm-hmm. And they made him affable, they made him gregarious and funny and friendly and disarming, ironically.
Mm-hmm. Something about him reminded me of Jim Carrey.
He reminded me of Jim Carrey.
Like a little bit of his looks, but also a lot of his mannerisms that he had with his character.
You just
like a little bit down, but yeah.
He's like a golden retriever serial killer.
A little bit.
I did love his line about the turtles. I only keep pets I can eat.
And the nice tense silence that followed.
And I love the silence that followed. That was perfect writing, directing, and acting, because you could have filled that silence with anything. You could have like said, "Oh, just kidding," you could have ruined that. And all they did was they let the crew look at each other. Leslie pays no attention to him. It goes 2 beats, and then the scene changes. That's excellent. You have no idea if he's joking. No clue, and that's by design.
Like the filmmakers knew when to let a moment linger. Quite a few times in this movie.
I mean, really, all pets are edible if you're brave enough.
It's really just a matter of will. He starts the documentary. The premise of the documentary is they're trying to tell the behind the scenes of how these serial killers do what they do, how they achieve what seems to be impossible, what seems to be supernatural, what seems to be otherworldly. So he takes them through the steps. He's walking them through, kind of like, it's funny because he jokes about how a magician never reveals his secret, but yet he's a magician and he's revealing the secrets the entire film. The first step is he has to take them to the location. That's the first step. We have to understand the location. Location means everything. Jason had the camp, then Manhattan, then space, but the camp. Freddy had Springwood, and Michael had Haddonfield. And rarely did they ever depart from their location. So he takes them to the childhood property, and he tells a little bit more about the background, the legend of his story, which is kind of a repetition of what we heard in the VO. And then we get this great shot of him with a heavy bag punching and like just drenched in sweat. And they're like, why do you have to do this? And he's like, oh man, you gotta be tough on your cardio. Like people are just they're running constantly, and you have to be going after these people, and you got to look like you're walking the whole time.
I thought this was so funny. I absolutely howled at this part because I'm like, because it's so true. Like the entire time everybody's running, the serial killer is just slowly walking.
Saunters, is sauntering.
And he's able to keep up.
He's like, it's tough, man. It's tough. I love his exasperation.
No idea.
Then he takes them into step 2, which is finding the target group. The core principles. We learned about this in Cabin in the Woods. But he says the key is the girl. She's the linchpin in this. She's the one that holds this together. And then you just have to have the right supporting cast of characters. So they're kind of sitting, I don't know where they are, in a coffee shop. And he's kind of like looking out at a college campus.
They're in their van.
Oh, they're in their van. Okay. I was like, they're looking through a window.
They're sitting in a white van watching college students.
And he's kind of like pointing out different groups. He's like, these people, they could work, or those guys right there, they'd be easy to take out. Like that, you could use guys like that to pad your numbers. And they're pointing out tropes that we see in every slasher film. The jock, the cheerleaders, the stoners. Like these are the people he's pointing out. And then he says, but you need a survivor girl, which is their version of a final girl. I wonder if final girl was copyrighted, and that's why they couldn't say final girl.
Yeah, I wondered about that too. Because I don't know. I guess
it's a hiccup.
It's a little bit funny, survivor girl.
Yeah, it feels like a hiccup. And he sees this girl in a pink sweater. And he's like, he's saying they need to be a virgin. Like she's a virgin. And this girl in a pink sweater like pauses and like looks at the van. He's like, oh my gosh, did you see that? Did you feel that connection we had? Like, I know she's a virgin and she knows I'm here. Like we feel it with each other. But like everyone else is just like, or she's just staring at a weird van that's like leering outside a campus. Like,
except for Todd a little, because Leslie's like, did you catch that? Did you catch that? And Todd's like, yeah, I caught it.
Todd is right up Leslie's ass this whole time.
Todd's a fangirl.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he then takes them to the diner, and then we see the survivor girl he's chosen. He says, this is the one, Kelly Curtis. And Taylor asks, can we talk to her? She's like, no, absolutely not. This is a no-fly zone. Like, you cannot interfere. Like, I will take you everywhere you need to go. I'll show you everything you need to see. You cannot mess this up. So then they have to go into step 3, which is the flyby. And what we see is the opening of the film, which is her leaving the diner and, throwing the trash away and the brick being pulled out. But we see how it was done. So we realize that the intro to movie was this scene right here, but from her perspective. Now we're going to see it from Leslie and the crew's perspective. He talks about how he rigged the brick up with fishing lines so you can yank it out. And he has Taylor be the one to yank it out at the right. He's getting the production crew to participate in this stalking, in this flyby, in this subtle scaring of this survivor girl. I'm gonna mess that up. We'll just final girl.
I will say that fishing line was so visible. Like,
oh, when she puts the brick up.
Yeah,
it's
like there's no way that Kelly would have seen it. And I know it's to create the illusion of it, but
well,
like it's around there several times.
We're not going to see Kelly for being the wisest of individuals.
Fair. No, Kelly is very obviously using the hair dye from Cabin in the Woods.
True.
Got it all the way back.
She yeah, and not only like she's using the shampoo and conditioner, the 2-in-1. So she's getting a double dose of dumb. After they do this flyby, I mean, Taylor and Doug and Todd and Leslie, they're all elated. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we did that. That was amazing. And all of a sudden you realize the crew is having a blast with this. Like, this is so much fun for them to be participants in this documentary. I mean, they broke the documentary rule and they're involved with it, and right away too. So yeah, you're not going to get that master's degree, Taylor. And as they're getting
this part of the film, like it really kind of like is leaning into parody at this point, because I mean, like it's already a parody horror, but like it's a little bit too farcical for them to be like, yes, let's stalk this person. Like, we're planning her murder, the murder of all her friends. Like,
ho hum.
Well, this is the fun stage when it's just scares and nobody's actually getting hurt.
Yeah, like, and so like I feel like up till now we're kind of wondering, do they just think he's crazy and they're just following him? And even here, I feel like you can maybe still hold on to like a little bit of the, do they just think he's crazy? But they are actually like helping him stalk now. So like they've crossed, like they've kind of jumped the shark for me here.
The logic doesn't track. And I don't think this is a thread you can pull, because it will just come apart. There is absolutely no reason for them to like this person, to be included in what he's doing, and to enjoy it to the level they're enjoying it. The only theory that I can play with is they represent the audience of horror. They represent the audience of horror that loves these films, even though they're predictable, even though they know the tropes, even though they know it's probably not good for them, but they can't help but being a part of it. That's the theory I'm going to throw out there, because otherwise there'd be no, like, why would you do this? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, if you are a master's student trying to get your degree, you're not going to be effing up by pretending to kill someone.
Yeah.
Right. So I just think they play the audience in this. They're the audience. They're the fourth the fourth person in the room getting involved in this.
I do think he does a little bit of temptation. Leslie Vernon being he,
of course,
a little bit of temptation with that as well. Because when at first, like, they're sitting down and Taylor's trying to interview him, he's like, "Well, I can't just tell you. I have to show you. You have to be a part of it." And that's kind of the pull in. Yeah,
and once again, they're trying to make him as pleasant and fun and friendly as possible.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's having such a good time. He's just
This is great. Yeah.
When they have their little shenanigans in the library, he's like giggling. He's so happy. And it's like, okay, go do some murder.
As they're leaving the diner, either Todd or Doug says, "Oh wait, who's that guy over there?" And you kind of see someone standing outside of a car watching them. And Leslie just dismisses. He says, "Who knows?" I get in the van, then they leave. And they go to ostensibly Leslie's only friends, which is an older individual by the name of Eugene and his wife, Jamie. I recognize the actor who plays Eugene. This is the first time outside of Kane Hodder that I've recognized anyone in this movie. I'd have to look up to see who the actor was. Scott Wilson, who he was in The Walking Dead. He was the old man in The Walking Dead.
And then his girlfriend or wife or whatever,
Jamie.
Jamie. That's obviously a reference to Jamie Lee Curtis because we have a bajillion and one references.
And Leslie thinks Jamie is so hot. That's what he tells. He's like, Jamie's so hot.
Yeah.
And I mean, she is. She is. He's not wrong. I don't know how Eugene got her, but Eugene is one of the OG slashers, and he is a mentor to Leslie. He is helping Leslie to become the next thing, to honor the way it should be done. Eugene lives by a code, and he never spells the code out, but you can tell he does not like what he calls the new killers. And so we're getting a sense of there's a rift between the classic slasher tropes of Jason, Freddy, Michael, and these are considered to be the good ones, if you can have good, bad people. And then he alludes to, these new people who, hack up a sorority house and get caught by the cops or killed there. So you're thinking, okay, one-off movies, maybe this is a slumber party massacre or sorority house massacre. It's not Black Christmas, because everything I was picking up is Eugene was Billy from Black Christmas. That was the vibe I was getting.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was the OG slasher, right? I mean, Black Christmas inspired all these others. And it would stand to reason that and Billy was never caught. Like, there is no resolution to Billy's character. It is believable that that is Eugene.
We should mention how we meet Eugene. Like,
oh yeah, he buried himself in a sensory deprivation. He buried himself in a coffin underground.
Yeah.
For like 3 days.
3 days. Yeah. Well, the idea was that this is part of his training, even though he's retired, so that he can pretend to be dead.
Stay sharp.
Yes.
Yeah, stay sharp. But Eugene spells out why this has to happen. He says, we're in the business of fear. You cannot have this dichotomy between good versus evil unless you have evil. We exist so that there can be good. That is our role. That is our lot in life. And as he's talking to Leslie, and he's coaching Leslie through, he asked Leslie about, have you worked out the red herring? Which I love. So now we're playing into another slasher trope, which is, with the, what is it? The Agatha Christie, is it 12 Little Indians or 10 Little Indians? Which all the slashers are kind of based around, which is you whittling down the suspects until you get to the one who reveals at the end. But you always have a red herring who you think it is until it reveals it's not. And Leslie kind of thinks, yeah, I might know someone. And Eugene's coaching. He's like, I don't know if that's the right one. What else could we get? And they come on this idea of the library and the librarian. And we can use, we can really pin something going on the librarian here and make that the next phase of this operation. Okay. So now we know what we need to do. So they go out to the library.
Well, pause. I do want to pause because they're when they're talking about the red herring.
The red herring is the red herring.
Yeah. They're talking about who the next target is. And then as they're walking out, Taylor asks Leslie, well, what's a red herring? And Leslie gives the worst description of a red herring I've ever heard.
Wait, what does he say? I don't think I remember.
Yeah, what do you say?
He's basically saying, well, it's when you kill some, like he's describing the murder, right? But a red herring is a misdirect.
Yes.
Right? It's when you think it's one person, but it's really another. Like,
which is like, I because I thought this was like very intentional. Because like he can't tell her what the red herring is because
for reasons that
we'll get to. We can't spoil the movie for you before we spoil the movie for you.
Right. Like this is the one thing where, like, I mean, James, you said earlier that a magician never reveals his tricks. This is the one thing he's hidden. The one thing that he described badly. The one that then he's not telling Taylor. That is him hiding his tricks.
So one must ask, does Eugene know what Leslie's actual plan is at this stage?
I would say yes. Given that, like, Eugene is his mentor and certain information we find out later of how long Leslie has been planning this, like, I would say he knows.
Okay.
And that's why when Eugene brings it up, like almost directly afterwards, Leslie's like, you want to walk us out? You should walk us out. Like he almost changes the subject.
Yes. Interesting. Fascinating. Until Taylor forces it again.
Mm-hmm. And then he gives a wrong answer.
Fascinating. Okay. I didn't even catch that. I love this. This makes this movie even deeper than it already was, which is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So we end up at the library, and what they're going to be doing is they're going to be planting evidence for the survivor girl to find, to give her the impression that she has a family link to this killer. And so Leslie shows the crew this newspaper article of Kelly's great uncle, and they're like, wow, that really looks like her. He's like, well, yeah, it's Photoshop. Like, this is fake. Like, I just made this. Like, most of what we do is fake. Like,
a lot of what we do is CGI.
A lot of what we do is CGI.
I love that.
It's one of the most awesome lines.
And so they have to plant this in the library for her to find this fake article, and then the microfiche. How he says microfiche so many times.
That's not only him, yeah.
Well, it's because how many movies do we see where the person has to run to the library to do the research? Something no one ever actually does IRL. But and how often do they look at microfiche?
2006, they had the internet.
Yeah, but even what is it? I was thinking about The Ring this morning.
They do that, yep.
And sure enough, in The Ring, like there's that whole scene of her scrolling through the microfiche.
Like at least with Kelly, like it's established she's studious. She's there often. So this is more of a trap than.
Yeah. So Leslie plants the evidence in the library, and then they just kind of watch Kelly as she discovers it. And then she goes up to the librarian to ask for more information on this. But before she can do that, after Leslie plants the evidence, or when he's about to plant the evidence, he's talking to the crew. They're like hiding in the bookshelves. And we get my favorite line in the movie, which is Leslie, he's about to go plant the evidence. He's so excited. He's so amped up. It's going to get wet in here tonight. Wow. That's how I should have introed this show. It's going to get wet in here tonight. And then he looks over his shoulder and says, "Ooh, look, Paradise Lost. Found it." Brilliant.
He's such a dork.
Yeah. I will say that book, which I don't know much about it, but what I do know is it's about a little bit of it's about Adam and Eve and temptation.
Yeah.
Which was kind of a theme in this movie.
Paradise Lost. Found it. We meet our librarian, who's played by Zelda Rubinstein. Oh,
this was her last movie.
Oh, and what a good movie to go out on. Did she die on camera? Because it sure looked like it.
She definitely wait, like, did she die on camera like IRL or like?
Yeah. Because he doesn't touch her. She just falls over. Like, I wonder if she just like had a big old heart attack and that was it for little Zelda.
In her side for that scene, which we don't see. The camera angle's not good for that. But because when he raises it, it seems like he's coming up from her side.
We see very little like actual on-screen violence.
That's true.
Yeah, there's not, especially not during this documentary portion of it. There's almost, I can't think of any on-scene violence during the documentary footage. It changes a little bit later, but on scene, I can't think of it.
Well, this scene is actually switched to horror movie style shooting.
You're right. It did. Because Leslie, just to set the context, Leslie just doesn't want to plant the evidence. He wants to give Kelly her first introduction to him and scare her, not kill her, but scare her. And he's going to off the librarian, because the librarian's close to her, right?
But not a best friend.
Yes. Yeah. So you're right. It does switch to actual cinematic footage. I didn't realize it. And he like appears behind the librarian. I don't see him hit the librarian, but I guess he did because she falls over. And Kelly's screaming, and then all of a sudden, you get a guy in a trench coat standing behind Leslie who says, "Not this time," and shoots Leslie in the shoulder. And Leslie has to flee.
And of course, the guy is played by Robert Englund.
Yep.
Am I right?
One and only. I wonder how much of their budget they had to spend on Kane Hodder not saying a word and Robert Englund having like a 3-scene cameo in this movie.
3 scene? I feel like it's more than that.
Oh, they filmed all this stuff in a day. Promise.
Oh, I fully believe that.
Yeah,
for sure.
There's the scene in the library, the scene at the diner, and then the scene at the house. 3 scenes.
They've got. There's like multiple scenes at the house, but anyways, carry on.
So,
movie nerd.
They leave the library, and Leslie is so excited. He's screaming, "I got my Ahab! I got my Ahab!" And he goes back to Eugene and Jamie's, and he's like sharing with them about, "I finally got my Ahab." So Taylor and the crew are like, "What is an Ahab?" And they're like, Captain Ahab in the Whale. Like, this is...
I don't think they ever actually say Captain Ahab in the Whale, do they?
They don't.
Like, I kept waiting for them to make a Moby Dick.
I thought Eugene said it.
No.
What does Eugene say?
They never say Captain. Because I was lost on that reference till you mentioned it.
Yeah. No, like...
I picked it up right away that it was Moby Dick.
Like, just listen to us. We're definitely right.
So... When Taylor asks what's an Ahab, Eugene just responds, "It's an Ahab."
It's an Ahab.
It's an Ahab.
It's Ahab.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay. An Ahab,
like he does describe it's Doc Holleran. It's like the antithesis to everything that he's doing. It's a symbol of good, but he doesn't actually like.
He never credits like they didn't have the royalty money to give to.
Moby Dick has to be public domain by now, I would think.
I don't know.
But this is Donald Pleasance. The trench coat, the
psychiatrist.
This is Dr. Loomis.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and very intentionally styled exactly like him.
Which with the same gun, too. Which is interesting because in the latter Halloween movies, if you've seen any of them, namely 5, Dr. Loomis is, if anything, more the antagonist than Michael Myers is. Like, brutally so. And I think Donald Pleasance, who played Dr. Loomis, just wanted more screen time. So he's like, "I'm just going to go crazy." And... was like more trying to create problems versus because he was so obsessed, which is I guess plays into the Ahab thing. Like he was so obsessed with Michael Myers that he was willing to sacrifice Jamie Lloyd's character and kill a small girl to try to get to Michael Myers. Like the obsession became a curse for him. Okay, so the crew decide, or I should say Taylor from the crew decides that they want to approach Kelly at the diner. They want to talk to her because this is getting a little real. Like Leslie got shot. He was wearing a vest, but he got shot. And someone died. So let's talk to Kelly. So they go to Kelly, but who's at the diner? Doc Halloran. And he approaches them. He's like, why are you following her? What's this film crew? And they're like, oh, nothing. You know, they're trying to get out of it. And then all of a sudden, Doc just calls Kelly over. He's like, I think these people want to talk to you. And that freaks them out. So they split.
Well, he also name drops Leslie's real name.
Leslie Mancuso.
Like, she's like, listen, he's like, listen, you have no idea what you're dealing with. His name is not even Leslie Vernon. It's Leslie Mancuso, which is, of course, a reference to a horror producer. But I'm trying to remember.
Frank Mancuso Jr. from Friday the 13th.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say that. It's right on the tip of my tongue.
I believe you.
Leslie finds out about this. I don't know what this is implying is that there's more to Leslie than he is telling us.
Mm-hmm.
Or he is revealing to this crew that he's supposed to be fully transparent with. I think that's what this is. It's like, okay, there's more to him than what we know or what he is sharing with us. So much like the red herring, this is another hint that they've dropped. Leslie's pissed that they went to talk to Kelly, and he slams Taylor up against the van, and Doug and Todd are inside the van filming this, and he is like full hand on throat on Taylor.
And this is the first really scary thing that we've seen from him, because even in costume he's a little hokey, right?
It was scary. Also, like, I have to say, like, and this is like completely my toxic trait. This is what romantasy books do to a girl. Because I saw this scene and I was like, hear me out. What's wrong with me?
You can fix him though. You can always fix him.
But Daddy, I love him.
He just needs a little work. That's all. So
okay,
Taylor,
continue.
It works on Taylor just like it worked on Kat. And Leslie releases her and says, I'll tell you everything you need to know. And so she asks, just who's Doc Halloran? Like, tell me. And he's like, he was my shrink in Reno, and he has a restraining order against me. And the reason he won't call the cops on me is because if he's near me, he's the one that's going to get arrested. And Taylor feels kind of like a little bit of a pawn in this. And Leslie just kind of dismisses it. Like, he's like, this is just what has to happen for me to do what I need to do. So let's move on. Let's keep going. Let's not pull that thread.
Yeah. Like he's trying to very much become Leslie Vernon. He doesn't even want to associate with who he was before.
No.
Like, he's becoming his persona. And I do want to point out, like, the whole I'll tell you everything you need to know, just get in the white van. Like, it's still playing on that temptation. Like, so many times Taylor and the crew could have pulled out, but he's just like, I'll give you what you want. Just get in the van.
Give me first.
Yeah. Not everything you need, everything you want.
Yep. He
takes them to his ancestral home, and he's talking about the home and the different areas of the house. And he's using like he brings up the closet, and he says, you can't go in the closet. So why can't you go in the closet? He says, well, the closet is sacred. It's like the womb. And we immediately think of Jamie Lee Curtis hiding in the closet with Michael Myers trying to break in, and she stabs him with the coat hanger in the eye. But what he's doing is he's walking the crew through this house that, the core cast of victims is going to be having a party at. How they get there, I'm not sure. I didn't catch that. But
they drive.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kat.
You're welcome, because it's established that he fucks with their cars.
Yeah.
Not how they physically got there, ding dong. Why they're even there to begin with.
Because once a year on the anniversary, they go on a dare. It's established in the beginning of the movie. Did you even watch it? God, James.
God. All right, I missed that. So anyway, he's walking them through how he's going to kill all the people that are there. And while he's describing it, keeps switching to the cinematic cinematography. So we're no longer in the documentary handheld cam, found footage style. It's now cinematic footage with his voiceover.
Right.
He's talking about how he's going to rig the main fuse. He's putting dead batteries in all the flashlights.
Mm-hmm.
He walks them through
windows down, cuts the branches. So if they try to
branches of the trees or makes them super fragile, they thought of everything. It was really clever. The shots they get, we get a great boob shot.
Okay, so Kristina, what did you think of the boob shot? Because
I'm sorry, it wasn't for you. It wasn't for either of you.
I get the humor. Because
it's so funny. I hope I don't cut myself on your edge, bro. So funny.
Because all those horror movies have something, right? Some sort of gratuitous scene. So for him to be and Taylor calls it out, is Leslie, and
isn't that a bit gratuitous? Leslie,
necessary. It's I forget how he puts it, but
he says, now who's telling the story? He says, now who's telling the story?
Yeah.
That's his defense of showing a gratuitous boob shot. And this
shot is the only reason I think this movie is rated R. Otherwise, it's a PG.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Because there's not really much.
There's nothing else.
There's no gore.
Maybe they threw it in to get a rated R.
It wouldn't surprise
we didn't even get a good, satisfying splat at the end, and we should have. I was owed that splat at the end.
Yeah, we are robbed of the splat. Actually, is this rated?
0 out of 10 Sam Raimi's.
I'm not seeing a rating anywhere. No. There it is, rated R. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they put that in just to secure the R rating, so they could be more of a classic slasher film, because no good slashers are PG-13, at least none that I would want to watch. But the framing of the shot is even more gratuitous because you don't see anything else. You don't see her face.
It's nothing else but just boobs. Soup's on, boys.
Boobs. He takes them to the shed, and he's talking about the symbolism of the shed, which is where all the weapons are. He says, Kelly's going to enter the shed, and she's going to look for a big, long, hard weapon. And that's deeply symbolic. And then he says the line, which was my third option for the intro of this show. She's empowered.
She's what? Wait, hang on.
She's empowering herself with cock.
There it is. I couldn't get through it. But he mentions how every weapon in the shed has been rigged. He's loosened the handles. He's put cracks in them. I still think an axe to your face is going to hurt, but he thinks he's going to be okay with it.
Well, he says, I just have to make sure she doesn't get lucky on her first shot. So he's assuming that he can dodge the first hit. Yeah. And then it will just break.
It does usually take a couple practice swings before you get really handy with an axe. Because adrenaline, in that situation, it really throws off your coordination.
It's heavy. Until you're the final girl, and then it's super light. You can fling that thing around. So he's talking about the closet was the womb. the fields that are now filled with mist and fog. Like, this is the birth canal. This is where she will be reborn as the final girl.
It's important to note he gets her involved in this. This is a very funny scene, by the way. But he gets her involved. He's like, if the closet is the womb, Taylor, what is this? And she supplies the birth canal. And he's like, excellent, you're learning, grasshopper. Mm-hmm. And it's very, and then he like talks about how a lot of the imagery here is yonic. And I thought like, and that's
the vocabulary word I learned.
Huh? Yeah, that I learned that.
Word I learned that day.
I did know this word. It's so underused. I love it. And yeah.
And then we get Chekhov's cider press. Chekhov's cider press. Leslie's using the cider press, crushing some apples, and Taylor's
this is a literary device known as foreshadowing.
Yeah. Well, that's
well.
Yes. And Taylor says, well, what are you going to do with that? I'm going to crush some apples. So it's time. It's time.
I do want to point out one thing, because with the whole like theme of temptation, Paradise Lost, Adam and Eve, what did the snake tempt Eve with? An apple.
Apples. Yep. There you go.
As he's eating, it might have been a pomegranate. It's never actually specified.
He's got a mouthful of apple in this, like an asshole.
I just be an asshole about it. I just wanted to be
we like technicalities here. We like technicalities.
So the time has come, and Leslie's suited up. He's got the shaggy overalls on. He's put the eye paint on. He's put the mask over, and he starts crying.
But when he's putting on the makeup, he very much says it's fire retardant.
Oh yeah, he mentions he's putting like a jelly over him.
Yeah, it's preparation H and flame retardant.
Yeah. So he's talking about like why he's not going to bleed a lot, like why he's going to weather
the preparation H thing. Like that's a real thing. Did you guys know that? That's a real thing. You can also use it to depuff the bags under your eyes if you're having a puffy day, James. Like as a note.
Okay.
Are you saying my eyes are puffy right now?
I'm just saying that is
up all night watching these movies. Like, of course.
I'm just telling you facts about preparation H, alternative uses.
There you go. He's crying to Taylor. He's like, I'm just so happy. He's like holding Taylor's hand, and it's like this, I guess, romantic moment between them.
Yeah, it is weirdly intimate.
And then he goes and starts killing people, and you don't see them. The documentary crew is not filming him killing people. You just hear him doing it as they're in the room, and then they're having their first, like, I shouldn't say their first, but the only time that they're actually going to come to terms with what's happening. Okay, whereas when they went to the diner to talk to Kelly, they chickened out, but here they're really coming to terms with it, and they're like, holy shit, this is really happening. And Doug asked, should I be filming this? And Taylor's upset. Like, she's mad. And so Leslie takes them outside, and he's like, you can't fuck this up for me. Like, too much has gone into this. This is my night. I thought you understood that. And he takes his mic off. So he's not mic'd up anymore. Mm-hmm. And he tells them to leave. And he grabs Taylor by the face. And he says, this is what I was born to do. And then he goes back to the house. And we now switch to cinematic mode for the remainder of this film.
Yeah.
Taylor decides she wants to stop him, that they can stop him, that he's still the Leslie Vernon that they've known for the last several days throughout this filming process.
And he by the way, like, lets us know, like, he kind of narrates what's about to happen when he takes his mic off. He's like, listen, you got to look in your eye that says you're gonna like maybe want to stop this or something. And then as soon as the mics are like off, she's like, we got to stop this. Right? and I think it's Todd literally says, yeah, he just said you were gonna say that. Like, that's exactly what he said. So like, it's we haven't had like our big revelation yet, but like this is another clue that Leslie has been writing the story to go this way the entire time.
So they go back to the house to try to get the kids out. And they walk in on Kelly having sex. And
not just having sex, having like just like really, really like enthusiastic, reverse girl. Like
there's gyrations happening.
He's like, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!
Absolutely.
And that is how we learn. Not a virgin. That's nobody's first time.
Yep. So they're all shocked to see it. And they're like, okay, maybe
Again,
get dressed.
This movie's rated R.
Maybe get dressed. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to figure out a way to navigate around Leslie's plan, because he told them the plan, and get these kids out of there. So like when the power goes off, they know the power is going to go off. They know where he's going to be. They know what brand, they know about the brand. Like he walked them through how to get out of this. But the kids are just dumb, and they're just running free and running into all of his traps. And we get Leslie like removing someone's heart with a what would you call that? A ditch maker?
No, it's a oh, I know what this
digger?
is called.
A post hole digger.
Cornholer.
That's a game.
Post holer.
Post holer.
There it
Post
is.
holer.
For digging posts.
For making posts. Post holes.
A post hole digger.
Post hole diggers.
Yeah, it's called a post hole digger. I used to have a job where we would use them, but also like he mentions that he is going to unalive somebody with a post hole digger.
He does?
Yeah, when they go to the shed.
He says anybody else comes in the shed, they're
Anyone
going to get hit in the chest with a post hole digger.
Got it. Okay.
Did you watch this movie, James?
How many times?
Apropos of nothing, he removes the person's heart and drops it into their hand. This could be part of that R rating. This is probably the only gore we see. Is someone's heart getting removed and put in their hand. And the whole crew is now finding the dead bodies of the teenagers throughout the property as they still try to navigate around this. And Kelly has her freak out moment. I'm sorry, I'm not a virgin. And they're like, well, the cat's out of the bag now, because now Leslie found out she's not a virgin. So she's kind of fair game. So Leslie kills her.
Yeah. Well, she falls out the window, right?
She
tries to jump out the window. Yeah, and then
she panics, runs out the window, and as we already know, those branches were set for her.
Yep. Todd decides he's going to try to pull Leslie away from the group. That he's going to give the group a chance to escape. So he distracts Todd. He's like, come after me.
You can't have any survivors. You can't have any witnesses. So you have to chase me.
So Leslie pursues him, and he gets him down. Like Todd immediately trips and falls. And so Leslie gets on top of him, and Todd tries to talk to him. He's like, come on, Les, look at me. It's Todd. It's Todd.
We're doing this together. Yeah.
Leslie's face doesn't change at all. Doesn't say anything. Doesn't even acknowledge the words.
When the mask is first like knocked off, you see a grimace on his face, and then like it calms as he kills him, and then he puts the actual mask back on
and snaps his neck.
I do want to say, like, him tripping, Todd actually looked at the ground. Like earlier, we got part of the urban legend where it said that
I was watching really closely at this part.
Yeah,
that ground wet.
Right, the ground would become supernaturally wet with the blood of his mother. So that was part of the setup, to have the ground to be extra wet with blood.
Yep. So we have Leslie and Doug left, and Doc shows up. Doc Holleran's here to save the day. Oh no, he's immediately killed.
Well, knocked out.
Oh,
yeah.
Immediately, 1 second. Doc's here to save the. Nope, Doc's out of the picture. And then Doug tries to step up. He's like, Leslie, I love her, and you got to go through me.
Well,
nope, Doug's done.
We've had the reveal now that who the final girl is.
Oh yeah. This is
we brushed past that.
yeah. Like so they're having a moment in the bar or in the barn, not bar. They're having a moment in the barn. We've just gotten like gratuitous upskirt shots of the cheerleader. That was like very annoying, I have to say. I was annoyed by that. But they're having a moment and like Taylor does this very melodramatic, you don't matter. None of you matter. It was me the whole time. Like she like very melodramatic and everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is annoying. Like, what do you? And then they all are like, aha, you're the virgin.
I wish that scene wasn't in the movie, and instead we would, because when I see her become the final girl is when she strips down and picks up the weapon and gives the "come get some" line. I think you could have skipped over the exposition and just had that.
Fair. I will say, like, the one purpose it does serve is it changes the survivor's purpose. Because now Doug, he's like, well, I now have to protect you because you're the final girl, right?
Yeah, yes, but I still think we could have done the same thing with Doug. Doug's perfunctory, does nothing in the movie, does nothing the entire movie. Doug is useless. We didn't even need Doug.
He doesn't have many lines.
I usually we could make the movies without the men. Actually, I think most projects probably.
Todd served a purpose. Doug doesn't really serve a purpose in this movie, except for fodder, if we're adding fodder to it. But he doesn't actually kill Doug, so he just kind of knocks him out. But we have this scene where after Doug is knocked out and Leslie's pursuing Taylor, Taylor ends up where? In the woods, right? In the birth canal. And she transforms. She strips down to just her tank top, a la Alien and Aliens.
Yes. And we find out she's been hiding some guns.
And she says, come get some, which, Ash from Evil Dead. / Army of Darkness.
I forgot to mention, we see a car that is absolutely like the car from Evil Dead. So
the whatever 88.
Yeah.
That to me is the transformative moment. So like, I don't like the scene of the exposition. Don't need it. I got everything from this shot right here. Like the whole story to me is right there. She was the final girl the whole time. You could skip over the previous scene.
Yeah. Breaking news. James likes it when the women talk less.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. Calm down.
Or say something. No, I'm not gonna finish that sentence. So Leslie and Taylor, they kind of go back and forth on each other, and she's able to get his head into the cider press. And as she's twisting it, we don't see it, we hear it. Leslie finally speaks. I knew you were the one.
Yeah. Okay.
And then one more twist and
no splat, no spray, nothing. Like
just a crack.
Just
a crack.
Like
she just cracked the tip, Kat.
Give me nothing, girl.
She just cracked the tip. But then she decides to burn down the shed, and all of a sudden, both Doc and Doug are alive. They're wounded, but they're alive. This is very Scream. Like all of those people who you thought were dead. Oh no, we're okay.
Well, I mean, to be fair, both of them just got knocked out. Like,
Yeah.
Doug got thrown against a wall. Doc got hit by his shovel.
Yeah. And they just kind of watched the shed burn down as credits roll.
Yeah.
Until we get a little early credit scene of a security cam footage of the mortician looking at Leslie Vernon's body. And this is Halloween 4. Wait, maybe 4, maybe 5. Don't remember. It's definitely Friday the 13th, part 3. And
it's a horror movie trope. We see the mortician looking at the body. His back is turned. He's like, and we just see like to the soundtrack of Psycho Killer. I was dancing watching this.
It was a good pop. Yeah. Okay. So he just sits up. I didn't remember what happened in this.
It runs through the entire credits from what I remember. Like it's literally the mortician doing his job, and it's not until the last second, right before the credits are done, you see Leslie sit up.
Yeah, okay. you know it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I rented this on Prime. Prime didn't let me watch the whole credits.
I also you have to specifically you have to exit.
I went back and tried to rewatch it again, and it cut off and just went to the next movie in the queue a second time. And I was like,
well, that's unfortunate.
Maybe you're just like, you're bad at like watching movies.
Come on, Prime.
Skill issue.
I paid for this. So, all right. And there we have 2006. 2006. Is that when this came out?
2006. I looked it up while we were like.
2006. Nope. 2007. It was probably filmed in 2000. Well, I mean, I would imagine the release was staggered on this. Yeah, it says release date. It premiered at South by Southwest 2006. I don't think it got distribution until 2007 when it was picked up by Anchor Bay, which is the distribution company of the Evil Dead movies. FYI. All right. Final deliberations. Kristina, where do you stand on Behind the Mask? The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Not guilty. I love this movie. It was a good movie. Like it is silly and corny at sometimes, but intentionally so because it is a mockumentary, and it's tied together really well. Like I love that they give you little snippets and hints along the way, so you can kind of figure out what's going on as the story unfolds. It was well done. I think the acting was good for the budget. Yeah, I loved it. Would watch many times.
Kat.
Yeah, I like this movie. I feel that this movie leans maybe too far into parody for me. And it's missing like the heart of like movies like Final Girls and Cabin in the Woods just has like so much like other juiciness happening that that's a perfect film. So this one's missing some elements for me, but it is still not guilty.
I agree with both of you in that I love this movie. I think this movie has an incredibly high rewatch factor, which is big for me. Like I get frustrated when I enjoy a movie, but there's no reason for me to ever watch the movie again. And that's almost a little sad for me, where it's just like, even a great book, I love to reread a great book. In a film, I want to be able to enjoy it more than one time. And this is a movie I have enjoyed more than once, and I will enjoy again. I don't think it's on the level of A Cabin in the Woods, but that's not to say that it's not well thought out and that there's not a lot of great elements to it. But this is a razor thin budget. It is very few known players in it. It's a very unproven director and team that put this together. But for what it is, I think it's wildly enjoyable. To contrast it against Final Girls, I really struggle because Kat's right. Final Girls has a wildly mature emotional depth to it that is so unexpected and so delightful, and it makes that
cry.
movie so good. Yes, it is. I mean, Taissa Farmiga's role in this is phenomenal. That being said, I think I enjoy watching Behind the Mask more than I enjoy watching Final Girls, simply because of the nuance of how they tell the stories of these characters, of like the slasher tropes. I just think it's more of a fun movie to watch. But I will say Final Girls has way better acting and way more maturity than Behind the Mask.
I would say it's hard to. I haven't seen Final Girls, but I have seen Cabin in the Woods. And while this and that movie are both horror comedies, like I would compare this more to like something along the lines of What We Do in the Shadows. Like it very much seems more like it's just so different. It's really hard to put them in the same category.
Like the TV show.
Yeah, I haven't seen the movie, but the TV show.
Yeah, not the Johnny Depp movie.
No, there's a What We Do in the Shadows movie. That's the same concept as the show.
You're thinking of a different.
I'm thinking of Dark Shadows.
Yeah,
Dark Shadows.
Okay.
Completely different.
I've never seen the movie What We Do in the Shadows. I've only seen the
TV show.
FX show with Matt Berry.
I had such a crush on him. Oh my god.
For good reason.
We need to like make this podcast get like actually famous so that like he'll be maybe.
What is the show he's in? And I've only seen a homogenization of clips of him going up and hitting on girls, them turning him down, and then him shattering something in defiance.
Probably IT Crowd, maybe IT Crowd. He's an IT Crowd.
Does he play like a very flamboyant?
Yeah, he plays like a really chauvinistic douche.
Yeah.
He's brilliant in that. Father!
Okay, so it must be okay. So I have to then check out the IT Crowd. Yeah, it's like he goes up to a girl and he's like, she's carrying an aquarium, and he's like down the street, he's like, oh, can I help you with that? And he starts carrying it for her. She's like, oh, what a gentleman. And he's like, yeah, chivalry is not dead in my world. And he's like, where are you going? And she's like, oh, to my boyfriend's house around the corner. He just drops the aquarium and just
that sounds very, very IT Crowd.
It's a whole series of clips of him like just doing shits like that, and every time he just says fuck you and just walks away.
Yeah, you need to watch IT Crowd anyways. Like that's an amazing show.
Is he in all the seasons of IT Crowd? Because I've watched the first 5 minutes of the first episode, and
it's not the first episode because they have a different boss for the first couple episodes, and he dies quickly, and his son Matthew Berry takes over.
Got it. Okay. All right. So I just have to give it a little more time.
Yeah, and that's where my crush actually began.
Well, from Kat to Barry, we thank you all for tuning into this episode. Next week, we're unpacking an OG meta horror film, pre-Scream, in April Fool's. Is it April Fool's or April Fool's Day?
It's April Fool's Day.
From 1986.
Good year.
April Fool's Day from 1986, directed by Fred Walton, starring no one.
I'm so excited about this one because I mentioned this on last week's episode, but when I used to go to Blockbuster as a kid, we had the cardboard cutouts for certain movies. This one always caught my attention because it was a cardboard cutout of like this girl with her back to the camera, and her hair is braided into a noose, and she's got a knife behind her back. And like it's like so specific, and I wanted to watch it so bad, but I was not old enough, and I was very scared of scary movies.
Yep. The lead character, Muffy.
Muffy? All right.
Muffy. Oh, you know who this is? That's the final girl from Friday the 13th Part 2.
Oh, Nito Mosquito.
Yeah, so she's in this. I'd have to pull the cast to see who else is in this, but I imagine there's a few more homages. Yeah, she was the final girl from Friday the 13th Part 2. So the first person to ever have to take on Jason Voorhees is who that actress is. I did a deep dive a couple months ago on all the final girls from all the different Friday the 13th movies and tried to rank each one. She did not rank well. The best, who was the best final girl from Friday? I'd have to go back and look. She didn't rank well. Or did she? I don't remember. I guess we'll just have to go watch all 13 Friday 13th movies, or 12. There's 12. With the new TV show coming out, by the way, on Peacock called Crystal Lake. Everything has to be serial now.
Right. And go back to the town.
Yep. And of course it's a prequel. So
yeah.
All right. Well, we will catch you all next week in April Fool's Day.
Should we talk about next month's theme?
Yes, we have to. Because it's right around the corner. I have to figure out how we're going to do this, but April is going to be movies
we hate so much we had to make a theme of it.
Yep. Yeah.
Excellent.
So we have to figure. So I guess like what we'll do is we'll go kind of round robin where each of us picks a movie and and that's their week, and then the other ones have to decide, does this movie deserve the guilty verdict or not? Like, is Kat wrong for hating? Well, I don't know what you hate, Kat.
I picked Subservience starring Megan Fox for this. This movie
Right. You were telling me
is
about that.
horrible. I was so mad watching this movie that I texted you and I said, can we have a month where we just do movies that we fucking hate?
I feel like I need to also select a movie that did well or that people enjoy and I can't wrap my mind around, because I need to know, is it just me, likely, or is this movie grossly overrated or grossly overappreciated for what it is?
You contrarian, edgy. No, I couldn't see it.
Not the James you all know. No. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you all next week. Take care, everyone. And we're